Today we're going to talk about the Dulwich Hill Hempcrete renovation. We're doing it together. I'm Tracy from Connected Design.
And I'm Gwen, the owner of the house. We begin this presentation by acknowledging the Dulwich people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which this house is located, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. These pictures show the house, original house, which was very nice, but after a while we really felt it needed some changes.
Well, the kitchen was really pokey. The house was really quite beautiful at the front with double brick, but the back didn't have great connection to the backyard. There was polycarpet sheeting that was quite dirty, a really large laundry that wasn't needed, and just the space wasn't used that well. So from the floor plan, you can see we didn't actually add very much space. We just had one of the things that was really horrible was the bathroom right across from the living room. So if you were in the living room, you could look straight at the toilet, and using the kitchen was really a one-person space. Another priority too was actually removing the gas from the site and having an all-electric home that was comfortable all year round. So the construction is probably the area that I will talk more about, where it's quite standard construction in the beginning, where we have a waffle slab concrete slab with standard termite protection for the slab edge and 90mm framing. We also pulled out the old bathroom, which allowed us for new flooring and insulate that floor space. Where it's different is that we decided to use Hempcrete, which is a material that I've personally used on 7 projects now, that offers clients homes that are really comfortable dealing with condensation, thermal bridging, and they're also quite beautiful walls to have. The material's grown in Australia. It sequesters carbon from the atmosphere. It's long-lasting, reduces the need for energy. There's a whole list here. We don't need to read them out to you, but it is a terrific material. So the hemp material basics are woody core of the hemp plant. We mix it with a binder, some water and sand, and what I like to think, it's almost like an Anzac cookie dough mixture, a lot drier than what you think. We put it into our formwork walls, so we have a 90mm stud wall with the Hempcrete either side. And when the formwork's removed, we have this wall that's actually remarkably kept its shape. So here's a typical wall detail where we've got the frame in the middle, and generally we allow for the Hempcrete either side. In a perfect world, we'd have a thicker wall system, but within the inner west of Sydney, where space is quite limited, we've opted for a 200mm wall, which has given us an R value of 2.85. And in this project, we've actually rendered the walls internally and externally with line render. Here are some hemp wall construction photos. It was in the midst of COVID, so working on a construction site with masks was really quite tough, shortage of materials, but still it was an incredible project to get done. I think there was 1 week where there was a lockdown with COVID, but generally quite lucky to go through the build. The top of the walls, over the door, we actually used wood fibre board to prevent cracking, and the timber deck comes off the actual back of the house. One of the interesting things about the bracing is that in this project, we cut holes in the bracing so that when we were putting the Hempcrete together, we could put our hands through little holes and get through all the tiny, small gaps. We used a structurally insulated roof for instead of standard rafters, which can be seen just on the top right. And there is the set down of the roof from the old to the new. We also battened below this SIP, which is basically colour bond both sides with insulation in between. And the cavity between the gyprock and these SIPs allows us some services. The services are down the south side of the building, which is where we've got all our plumbing from the kitchen, the 2 bathrooms. It's where the rubbish bins are, tap for the garden, the heat pump. There's rainwater tanks. So really it is the great service alley that everything is run along that space. Some of the other design considerations was Gwen's passion to do the bench tops with silica-free materials. So internally there was porcelain and externally better stone. Efficient appliances, LED lighting, ceiling fans, breathable paints. Almost every consideration was thought of as to what else we could do in this project. And here's a photo of the existing extension.
Yes, this was a nice area to sit out on, but it was not sort of well serviced, I guess, and it was awful having to go to the laundry in winter when outside the house and make that journey.
And even sitting inside, the view was quite limited with the French doors and the security screens that were covering them.
Oh, yes. The transformation is amazing, as you can see, from before to after. And now we have this wonderful space where we can sit out, or we can even sit in and look out to the whole garden area.
There's a deck area that is covered to protect from the western sun, and there's also a tree, a well-established tree.
Yes, wonderful liquid amber, which you can just see in the top of the photo. And it is so beautiful in giving us shade in summer and letting the sun come through in winter and giving us our own little microclimate, really. It's just wonderful.
And we removed gas from the site but kept an LPG bottle on the deck for external cooking for a wok. That can just be seen in the photo there. So on all the timber that we use for the decking, for the screening, for the internals was FSC timber. You haven't used the aircon much, have you?
No, almost never. The way that Tracy has designed this extension, it makes everything just so comfortable all the time. Even in winter, we don't need to put on the heating part of the air conditioning, and the sunlight that comes in during the day and is retained is enough to keep this room warm even through the night. We're so impressed by it all, really. The Hempcrete wall and the double glazing in all of the windows and doors is wonderful for making a comfortable house. And the kitchen, family area, is something I really love because I like the feeling of spaciousness, and this is just perfect for family entertaining because the person who's doing the cooking, preparation of food is still part of whatever else is happening in the room because of the comfortable seating on the other side of the room, and it's really lovely for family gatherings.
And the little photo on the bottom right is actually a little porthole window from the TV room.
It's supposed to be TV room or craft room. At the moment, we still haven't furnished it properly, but it was a special idea because I could imagine it would be nice to look out to the garden even from that inner room, and this is what we've achieved.
Just some changes to the bathroom. So just that laundry, really all it needed to be was a cupboard essentially for a washing machine, not the large space that it was outside. And Gwen and her daughter did a magnificent job selecting all the tiles. And this really, for me, feels like the photo that gives you that connection. I really love coming to your house and seeing this photo.
Yes, well, we spend pretty much all day, every day, sitting in this room because it's so pleasant. Feels good temperature-wise, and we look out onto that garden and feel like part of nature. It's just wonderful.
That's our presentation. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.